All right, what's going on, people? We're here to party. To party. Welcome to the show, the Michael Garza Show. We're now fully monetized. I'm going to say that for about as much as I possibly can. We're excited. We're still going to care about the memberships, though. I'm going to still try my best to keep some exclusive content, but not too much. Just enough to keep the mussies and the bussies happy. To keep my mussy happy. But this is very exciting. Being completely and fully monetized to the point where this is passive income. You guys have no idea how stoked I am. Like, I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams. There's more incentive. Incentive's important, man. Incentive's a big deal. But I got my Chips Ahoy cookies. I got my affiliate links, by the way. I get a small commission for anybody who checks those out. As an Amazon associate, of course. But just as a disclaimer, as an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. This means if you click on a link and make a purchase, I may receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. Thanks for supporting the channel. Let's rock it. Overall, the Venmo cashback credit card is one of the better ones. In fact, it could really be a category card if you think of it that way. Now, one of the drawbacks is you can only have one of these cards. You're not allowed to have two or three because that would be a fun hack. I tried to apply for a second one, but I found out their rules are pretty rough, and that makes sense because if you think about it, I could apply for three of those cards, right? And then I could just use one for a specific category. Each one of them is a specific category, and I get 3% cash back no matter what. But yeah, so I use my Venmo credit card as a grocery card, and then I use my Active Cash credit card for everything else. Now, my Active Cash one is by Wells Fargo. I get a 2% cash back on everything. It's beautiful. Putting this up a little bit higher. Can you take me higher to a place where blind men see? Yeah, we're gonna look at let's check out Real Garza real quick. I do want to do an article at some point about the Venmo credit card because I do believe it is the best cashback card when it comes to like groceries and shit, because there's I should say the best cashback card that has no annual fee, because I specifically use it for groceries. I use my Amex card, my American Express card, for gas, which I get 3% cash back on gas with that card. There's a lot of advantages with the everyday Amex cards. That's what I do for 3% cash back on gas. But yeah, I get 3% cash back on groceries. Like, people don't realize that's a huge deal. And all you have to do is designate that one credit card as the card that you use for the specific spend group, right? So if I'm buying groceries, I'm always using my Venmo one. My Venmo cashback card is right there because, like I said, I get 3% cash back every single time I buy groceries. And that's all I use it for. So that ends up being my top cash spend on that one card. And the thing is, people are not strategic in how their cashback rewards are dispersed. I try to, at the bare minimum, get 3% cash back for everything. Now, it's not always possible. And that's where the Active Cash comes in. So there's the Active Cash card that I have by Wells Fargo. In fact, actually, let's just take a look at the different pages. Hold on. So actually, let's look up the Venmo credit card first. So here is the Venmo credit card benefits. More rewards on what you buy the most. Earn cash back on rewards based on your personal spending each month in these categories: transportation, travel, groceries, entertainment, dining and nightlife, bills, utility, health and beauty, gas, etc. So basically, What I did, like I said, I specifically use it for grocery only, as you see highlight. I could use it for other things, but honestly, I can get gas. I can get 3% cash back on gas with my American Express Everyday Cash Card. And then I get 3% back on grocery by using my Venmo card, my Venmo credit card. So it's a win-win situation in my opinion. It's just my opinion though. By the way, make sure you guys please like the video and subscribe to the channel. But overall, yeah, I mean, I pretty much use my cashback rewards cards very strategically. So every month, I always get 3% cash back on groceries because I only use this Venmo card for groceries. There's no chance for these other categories to overlap it, right? If you only use this Venmo credit card for one category, you're going to get the 3% back. So I'm very specific on which card I use for which purpose. Now, there is a wild card that I like to use. It is my Discover card. Hold on. Now, you should always have a wild card credit card that gives you 5% cash back on certain things every quarter, right? Now, it's nice to check these out because you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of getting... Basically, it's a way for you to pay less. It's also a way for you to get rewarded to buy things that you already buy, but make sure, and I mean it, make sure that you're not buying things willy-nilly just because you get rewards. That's not the point of the rewards. The point of the rewards is to buy the things that you must buy, that you have to buy, and get rewarded for them. You have to shift your mindset on that one. Oh, like right now, for example, okay, this July, once July hits, I'm going to be able to get 5% cash back on gas. So any sort of gas, any sort of utilities, really cool. So yeah, I'm going to be able to get 5% cash back on gas because of the Discover card. Now that's why the Discover card is kind of the wild card, because depending on the quarter and depending on what you need to purchase, you can use that card instead of the traditional card that you use. So since I use my Amex card, my American Express Everyday Cash card to get gas for a 3% cash back reward, instead of me using that one for July through, I think it was all the way to September, I believe, for that quarter, I now have the ability to completely get an extra get 5% cash back depending on what Discover offers. So I do have, and I'm not going to lie, I do have 3 credit cards that I use primarily. However, I do have other cards that I keep active to automatically pay bills and just to keep my credit score alive is really the whole point of it. Yeah, it's kind of the way I do it. It's the easiest way to pull it off. But yeah, overall, I mean, look at this. This is cool. So automatically, you're gonna say, yeah, there's no annual fee. Here's the benefits of it. There's no annual fee. You get all of these features and benefit below with no, like I said, no annual fee. Actually, why am I not placing? I just realized, why am I not placing this in the description below? My Venmo referral link. I don't need to. I'm good. I might even put my. Actually, let me see if I got a referral link. I think Venmo supplies a referral link for this. I'm actually not entirely sure. Let me take a look. Okay, so I want to actually refer people to the credit card. I don't know if their credit card actually has a referral program. If it does, I take that back. It looks like they don't even have a referral program for the card. They do have a referral program for Venmo, but honestly, most people have Venmo at this point, so I don't even think it matters. But I will say this, though. The 3 cards that I primarily use are, like I said, the Active Cash card. Like I said, the other ones also are just used for automatic subscriptions. For example, I use one card to pay for ChatGPT per month. I use one card to pay my internet bill. I pay off all these cards every 2 weeks, so none of them have a balance every 2 weeks. The goal of using the reason that you use a credit card is not to hold a balance. The reason you use a credit card is to take advantage of the cashback rewards, and that is it. That is it. Also, another reason I prefer to use credit cards over debit cards is if there are fraudulent charges that do happen, it is a lot easier to work with a credit card company to get those fraudulent charges reversed and have the card canceled than to cancel your debit card. That's why I don't like using my debit card at all. In fact, majority of the time, I'm not using my debit card for anything. The only time I use my debit card is if I go to the ATM, but that's it. Other than that, it's all credit cards all day long. I don't use anything else but credit cards. That's the extent of it. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But yeah, I think more people should stop being afraid of credit cards. And look, if you have an addictive personality or you spend a lot of money, the problem isn't the credit card. The problem is you. And this is not meant to be a slight at anybody who has a credit card problem, but the problem really is you at the end of the day. You're the issue. And people don't tell people this enough. People are not that nice. You're the issue if you've got a problem. If you've got a problem, you're the problem. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that is a simple psychology 101. So if you have a spending problem, you're the root cause of the problem. So it's like I always tell people, it's never the credit card that's the problem. Just pay it off every 2 weeks and treat it like a debit card. Like, it's not hard. And make sure that you have the money in your checking account to pay off the cards every 2 weeks. First off, credit cards are not free money. I know that they've been advertised as a way to help for emergencies and shit like that, but it's at a 25%, 30% interest rate. Fuck that. Screw that. It's wrong. Those interest rates are disturbing, if I'm going to be quite honest. And that's one of the reasons why I use my credit cards like a debit card. It's as simple as that, man. Yeah, this is great. This is why I love credit cards. There's the zero liability policy. So it says we've got your back with our zero liability policy. You won't be held responsible for unauthorized transactions made by your card or account information. You're covered. If your card is ever lost, stolen, or fraudulently used, notify Synchrony immediately of any unauthorized use. Now, I will say, I'm not a big fan of Synchrony Bank. just gonna put that out there. But as far as credit cards are concerned, the Venmo credit card is my favorite. Um, it has the best cashback reward structure out there. That's my opinion, but it's a healthy one. Well, it's pretty sexy. Sorry, I was looking. I never really took the time to look at all the other benefits that I wasn't aware of. But no, the Venmo card is the top tier. It is my main credit card that I use because I do a lot of grocery shopping. I don't really buy anything else. If I have to buy something from Walmart though, like an electronics item, I actually will use my Venmo card at Walmart because it actually registers it as grocery, which is kind of funny. Um, so I could buy like a piece of electronics for 3% cash back. I'm gonna watch a video that my buddy Nathan sent me. Hold on.
Oh damn, that looks attractive. Thanks, man. No homo. What? No homo. What's that? I like your hat, but not a gay way. No, I'm saying I think the hat looks sexually attractive. It's not gay. I like your hat, just I'm not sexually attracted to. So every time you've ever complimented me, you've meant it sexually. Say no homo. People say something that could come off as a little gay, they could say no homo. Make it more clear? Like, that's what messed me up.
This is pretty funny. I'm watching something kind of interesting. That's pretty funny, man. All right, let's keep going. So, what other credit card, spicy, sexy credit cards do we want to look at? My God. Over the peace field. What are you doing here? So let's take a look at the Wells Fargo Active Cash. This one is my other favorite because for the most part, when I need to, and when I still want to pay for something, but it doesn't fit the category. Obviously, it doesn't fit the Amex card. It doesn't fit the Discover card. And it doesn't fit the Venmo card. If it doesn't fit those three, this is where the Active Cash card comes in. because the active cash card gives you 2% cash back on everything, unlimited, by the way. There's no limit to how many rewards you can get. It's completely worth it. So the reason I have multiple credit cards is honestly not to improve my credit score, but really just to get rewarded for the things that I have to purchase on a day-to-day basis. And that's the smart way to do it, in my opinion. Now, some people can't handle this. And if you can't handle this, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if psychology will help you, because most psychologists are just enablers. So I consider psychology and most therapy to be enabling for the most part. It just enables more shitty behavior, so you'll come back in and give them more money to tell you how to live your life shittily. Let's take a look here. I'm not a big fan of therapists, honestly. The older I get, the more I hate therapy. And I think it is the dumbest thing in the world. Yeah, I try not to be such a dick about it, but it's my opinion. You know, if people go to therapy and it works for them, good. I still think it's an enabler tool and it's a crutch. I think it's like using a calculator to do math. Eventually, you stop being able to do math mentally if you keep relying on the calculator. Sometimes you got to solve your own problems, is what I'm trying to say. Or else you'll end up like Howard Stern. But yeah, this is the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card. Beautiful. It's a big, beautiful credit card. One of the greatest. The greatest of all time. One of the sexiest. Sorry I'm taking so long, folks. Trying to figure out a couple things. I always like to make sure that monetization is manually applied to some degree. All right, we're gonna go. Well, I forgot to put the chat up, so hold on. Before we dive further into the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card, let me hold on. No, I just inserted an ad. I was experimenting. That's funny. I can add an ad at any time. Very, very interesting. It's gonna make people angry. I'm very happy though that we're monetized. I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna try not to abuse the privilege of being monetized, but I'm definitely gonna try putting ads in the middle, beginning and end of the show. It's a way for the show to make money, and honestly, hit that skip button if you need to. Mm. Oh shit. There we go. Trying to figure out where I want to keep the chat window. Maybe a little more in the upper left-hand corner. That works. That works. And then on this page, probably keep the chat Hold on. Alt this a little bit. Yeah. Oh. There we go. And then we get, let's up this up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, we good. But yeah, hey, once again, everybody. I know I've thanked a lot of people today, and I can't stop it. But really, thanks for everybody who's contributed to the monetization process. The fact that we're now monetized on this on YouTube is still something that's a little bit surprising to me, in the sense that it just blows my mind a little bit. Let's see. So it says offers may differ from time to time and depend on the marketing channel, such as phone, email, online, direct mail. Okay. So plus earn. So it's really cool. So when I signed up for this, the cashback, the active cash, I did earn a $200 cash reward bonus after spending the $500, which was really cool. So I got basically got a free $200 for spending money I had to spend anyway. So it was really well worth it. I think anytime you have to make a big purchase, and there are intro offers for a credit card, I think that could be a huge advantage, because then you could use the credit card to purchase the item that you need to purchase if you're willing to wait it out. But yeah, earn unlimited 2% cashback rewards on purchases with no categories to track for or quarterly activations. What's really cool is I do get a 0% intro APR for 12 months from the account opening on purchases and qualifying balance transfers. After that, it's a variable APR. It'll be 19.24%, 24.24%, or 29.24%. Balance transfers made within 120 days qualify for the intro rate and fee. Yeah, either way, I pay all my cards off every 2 weeks. I treat my credit cards just like a debit card, and I never accrue interest. This methodology has allowed my credit score to skyrocket because I never hold a balance. All my cards are well below 10%. I know they say keep it below 30%, but my motto is I keep it below 10% as often as possible, because, and this is on a per card basis for me personally. Now, they say that the overall should be, hey, you don't want to use over 30% on your total cards, but you want to also try to avoid going over 30% credit utility, per individual card as well. So it's a mixture. It depends. Yeah. There's a few ways to do it, though. But yeah, it's a great cashback rewards card. Both the Wells Fargo Active Cash and the Venmo one. The Venmo credit card definitely takes the cake as far as a grocery shopping card for me. And then, like I said, the Amex Everyday card is my 3% cash back on gas. Discover's my wild card. Sometimes there'll be a category where I will use the Discover card for that category for 3 months. Oh, it's going to be cool because I'm going to be able to use it on gas. So if I do a lot of DoorDash in the next 3 months, I'll be able to at least get that 5% cashback reward, which will be pretty dope. And over the peace field, no child, soon you will see. Bright moon over the peace field. Oh, by the way, Bitcoin, I think, dropped even further. I think Bitcoin dropped further. Another thing that I do to make extra money, as you guys already know, I bet against Bitcoin because Bitcoin is what again? Clickcoin. It's a Ponzi scheme. Bitcoin's the greatest Ponzi scheme of all time. All right. But overall, my main focus is pretty simple. You know, I want the most cash back for each category of things I need to spend money on. I don't really spend any money on entertainment, to be honest. I think the only real bill that I have is my internet connection bill. And because of that, I get all my entertainment for free. Because I use things like Pluto TV. I don't use Hulu. I don't use no Netflix. I think those are money wasters. Now, I know there are people who use them. I personally think they're money wasters, but hey, you know what? What's trash to me may be gold to you. Maybe Netflix somehow gets you through your day. I can't stand half of the shows on Netflix. I think they're freaking garbage. Um, I also can't stand Hulu. I just can't stand any of it. To be honest, I don't even have an Amazon Prime subscription, and I use Amazon fairly frequently. I just try to avoid subscriptions in my life. Tempted Adverse says, don't forget OnlyFans. Nah, I ain't no simp, but I am a pimp of myself. You know, the one thing I was going to say, I'm going to try to give some fatherly advice to everybody out there. And this is going to be bad fatherly advice, but I don't give a shit. There are two types of people in this world. There's pimps and there's simps, all right? Now, you can either be a pimp of yourself. I should say you should be a pimp for yourself. Pimp out yourself. You are your own pimp, all right? But now, if you's a simp, everybody control you. You spending your money on OnlyFans models, yeah. Don't be a simp, dude. Be a pimp, all right? You can either be a pimp or you could be a simp. One or the other, whatever your preference may be. Are you a pimp or are you a simp? Ask yourself the question. You gotta ask yourself the question, where are you now? You gotta ask yourself the question, where are you now? Really sorry now they want to know they got caught up. Oh boy. I'm a tired boy. All right, let's see what else. But yeah, this is seriously legitimately one of my favorite credit cards because I had been eyeballing it for a while. Oddly enough though, I never got approved for it before. And then all of a sudden I got approved for it. But Tempted Adverse, you better not be an OnlyFans simp. And if you are, I want to give you some fatherly advice. Stop simping to all these girls with daddy issues, all right? Tempted Adverse, you gotta stay away from those from that shit, all right? Stay away from that shit. And this is interesting. Here are a couple of awards. Wow. The Active Cash card actually won a few awards. So, Nerd Wallet, Best of Awards, 4-time winner. Nerd Wallet says 2022, 2023, 24, 25. Best credit card for simple cash back. Hell yeah. The Ascent, a Motley Fool service. 2023 best no annual fee credit card. 2022 best cashback card overall. 22 best no annual fee cashback credit card. 22 best new credit card launch. Oh, that came out in 2022? Okay. Oh, I guess it's been out a lot longer than I thought. That's probably when I saw it was 2022. But yeah, I applied for the card about a couple years ago and never got approved. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I got a Wells Fargo line of credit because of I bought some furniture, some basic furniture. I bought a bed, and I was just like, well, 0% interest for a whole year. That sounds good to me. So I bought a bed at no interest, which was pretty tight. Now, here's a review on how the active cash stacks up to the competition. Unlimited 2% earn on purchases. Double cash actually doesn't. Discover it cashback does not. Capital One, yep. Cash rewards don't expire while account is open. Oh, wow. Double cash rewards actually do expire. Interesting. This is kind of giving me an education because I have all four of these cards. I've got the active cash, I've got the double cash, I've got the Discover It cashback, and I have the Capital One Quicksilver. I have all four of these. All four of these motherfuckers. So I'm kind of learning a few things about these that I didn't know. Some of the disadvantages. It seems like the active cash card is the best simple cashback card I have because the Capital One Quicksilver Rewards only gives you 1.5% cash back. Well, whereas the Discover It card only gives you 1% cash back on anything that's non-categorical. Double cash, I do get 2% back, but I do have to pay. So basically it's 1% for the purchase. I get 1% cash back for the purchase, and I get 1% cash back after I've paid off the entirety of the purchase. And I don't like that. I like just getting the flat out 2% after I make the purchase. I'll pay it back, obviously, but whatever. Cash rewards don't expire while account is open. No categories to track, redeem for purchases. However, I still believe that the Venmo card, my Venmo top spend category card, is the best because I spend majority of my money is spent on groceries. I wouldn't say majority, but I was going to say most of the stuff that I use, most of the stuff that I have to purchase is groceries, and I usually don't spend that much because I shop at Grocery Outlet, but I'm always playing it smart, man. Got to play it smart. So let's see, we got let's just go back to the Venmo one. So Venmo cashback. Actually, Discover credit card. Category rewards. The 5% cashback bonus for Discover is really neat, though. Like, for example, April through June currently, grocery stores and wholesale clubs, I get 5% cash back. July through September, I've already activated this in the app, so I'm good. But through July and September, through the months of July and September, I will, anytime I go to a gas station, EV charging, public transit, or just pay my utilities, I get, with that card, I get a 5% cashback reward for that purchase. So 5% of whatever that amount is. So if I go get $50 worth of gas, I'm going to get 5% cash back right then and there. I mean, that's huge. It's like that's $2.50 in my pocket. You know. Tempted Adverse says, hell no, lol, I'm a married man. Very happily married. So you're saying you're on OnlyFans? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But overall, yeah, I love the rewards with the Discover card. So this is why I call my Discover card my wild card, because this is my 5% cashback card when the time is right. And the time happens to be specific quarters. So as you could tell, July through September, gas stations, EV charging, public transit, you name it, right then and there. Boom. It's funny because I have not been taking advantage of the 5% cash back. Well, it doesn't apply. Here's the thing. It doesn't apply to grocery outlet. It doesn't apply to Walmart. So there's no point in me trying to use it because I'll only get 1% because it doesn't count it as a grocery store at Walmart, which sucks. And it sucks because it doesn't count. Also, actually, grocery outlet doesn't accept Discover. That's another thing. So using the Venmo credit card is nice because one, it's accepted just about everywhere. And anytime I go to a grocery store, it also counts Walmart as a grocery store, which is really nice. So that's why I'm able to get 3% cash back rewards every time I go to Walmart as well. So like when I go shopping at grocery outlet, man, I'm already getting a deep discount on everything that I'm getting. Plus, if I get $100 worth of groceries, I get 3%. I get $3 in cash back. $3 cash back. I mean, that's the best way to think about it is for every $100 I spend, I'm getting $3 back, right? So that's kind of cool. Now, like I said, you don't do it for the rewards. You have the card for the things that you must purchase, but you want to get rewarded to the maximum extent for the things you must purchase. Does that make sense? Am I losing anybody here? Am I losing you? I'm losing your bussies, all right? The bussies have been lost. Otherwise, it's pretty dope. Hmm. Honestly, it's weird to say that I'm finally monetized on YouTube, man. It's crazy. Blowing my mind, brothers. My brony brothers. We all love the brony lifestyle. We're all bronies at the end of the day. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Tempted Adverse goes on OnlyFans? Do you think he's an OnlyFans model? And I'm not saying that he goes to simp. I think he goes to be a pimp. I think Tempted Adverse is a dude who does OnlyFans. No shame in that, by the way. OnlyFans is sometimes necessary. All right, I'm trying to get my phone battery as charged as possible because I definitely want to find a place to post up, chill out, do the show. Not too sure where though. Ooh. Could celebrate by playing basketball. That's one thing. I might just go walk around though with my camera. It's fun though. I really do enjoy doing these live videos and seeing, how many people can watch the show, and it's neat to even have like one person check out the show. And I'm not getting a ton of watch hours by doing this particular episode, but it's just neat to have the consistent viewer when possible. Make sure you guys like the video though, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, please. Thank you. The more simps means the more pimps. So we all pimps. But any channel members, I'll give you guys a shout out though for sure. I definitely want to give. I got to give my boy Yager's Farm big shout out. He's been a big contributor to the show in the sense of, I actually interviewed him once. It was really cool. I had him on with Tim Smith and I. Really, really fascinating dude. Very interesting fella. And I mean that with all due respect. Interesting dude. It's got a very cool perspective on life. And then we got my boy Michael Donaldson. He was actually the first member of this show. Who knows? He may have been the first person to actually watch an ad on this show. And actually, Michael Donaldson is a man of many firsts on this show. So we love you, Michael Donaldson. You're the man. Then my boy Martin, big shout out to you, brother. I mean, these guys, if they stay subscribed, I mean, they get a guaranteed amount of money per week, I think, per month. But yeah, it's fun. But it's fun to be a part of the YouTube partner program. I think I've, my channel's not perfect. It's a little bit risque, but for the most part, it's very advertiser friendly. It's nothing too crazy. I do talk about the mussy a little too much, though. My mussy is the bussy, and I don't know why. Why am I the kind of guy? But yeah, the Venmo 3% cashback card is one of the best cards. I can't think of any other card that would really trump that one. I would say the Discover 5% cashback one, it could be second or third. Mainly because if the quarter is correct, meaning let me rephrase that. If the category for the quarter is something that you're purchasing frequently, then it's very handy to have the Discover Cashback card as your auxiliary card. Like I said, I've got, by all technicality, I've got 4 cards. Hold on, let me think about this. So, which ones do I actively use? I use the Venmo one. I use the Active Cash. Discover. I use my Discover one fairly actively when the time is right. And then what's the other one I use? I'm forgetting. I'm totally blanking out on this one. I'm trying to go from memory. Give me 1 second though. Straight up memory I'm trying to go from. What's it? Oh, the Amex one. Duh. The American Express one. So I got 4 cards that I typically use for everyday things. It depends on the category and it depends on the time frame and the categories presented for the Discover card for the 5% cash back. So like I said, the Discover card is my pure wild card. If it's got 5% cash back on things I got to purchase based on category alone, yeah. Like July through September, I'm going to be able to get 5% cash back on gas. That's huge. That's a big promotion, man. This is one of the reasons why I have multiple cashback reward credit cards. So I could take advantage of some of the different perks behind each one. Like I said, the Amex card is my gas card. I only use it for gas. So if I see any other purchase besides Chevron, for example, then I'm concerned. And if you use each card categorically, you can never lose. So like I said, every time I go to the grocery store, whether it's Natural Grocers, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Grocery Outlet, I'm always using my Venmo card. And I use my Wells Fargo Active Cash card for everything else. So if I go to the laundromat and I need to load my little card, I have this little rewards card they have, but I need to load $20 on there. I use my Wells Fargo Active Cash card, load the $20 onto it, and then I get 2% cash back on that purchase. But like if I go to a restaurant, I'm obviously going to use my Active Cash card because by default I get 2% cash back. And unless the Discover card happens to be like, hey, if you go to any restaurants, you'll get 5% cash back, then boom. And boom, at that point, I'm going to the restaurants. If you guys see what I'm saying. At least that's my philosophy. Sorry, I was outside quite a bit today. So I want to read you guys an email that I received on my Garza Media's email. This is a sponsorship offer, by the way, that somebody sent me. It's from David Ryan, all right? And this David Ryan, his email is david@metafied.io. Let's take a look and see what this is all about. All right. I'm going to read this real quick. Let's go back to the main phase. Hi, Michael. I'm reaching out from Metafied, the world's first AI-powered Bitcoin prediction game where players compete to forecast BTC's next move in 1 minute and 5 minute rounds. It's skills-based, real-time, and competitive. Let me stop you right there on the first paragraph. How is it skill-based to predict Bitcoin's next move? First off, it is hard to predict the behavior of bipolar people, right? On what direction they're going to go next as far as their manic episodes or when it will happen. I consider anybody who invests in Bitcoin to be manic and a little bit disturbed. And if you take it seriously, you're manic and a little bit disturbed. Anyway, I'm not trying to mentally shame anybody. Let's keep going. I don't know how this could be skill-based. What the fuck? I would take them on as a sponsor, but only to make fun of how stupid this concept is. Let's keep reading this, though. Think trading meets gaming with up to 1000x rewards, no middlemen, no arbitrage. Here's why I'm reaching out. We're launching our Metafied Creator Rewards program on July 1st, and we're inviting a small group of crypto creators to join early. You'd get early access to the game and alpha rounds. FIDE token rewards for every active invite. Rev share from player activity via your custom link. Bonus perks for your community during launch week, blah, blah, blah. Plus access to daily Discord games, and USDC prizes right now. We believe Metafied has the potential to be 100x bigger than Robinhood, and we'd love to have you and your audience in early. Let me know if you're open to a quick intro call with our founders this week or next. Happy to share more and get you access. Attached below are a few screenshots showing you a sneak peek of the game's interface and features. So they're trying to gamify crypto. Basically, they're trying to make it more fun to gamble on Bitcoin. Yeah, this is stupid. This might be the dumbest proposal I've ever... Do they even know the nature of my channel? The person who sent this to me did not do their homework on this channel. I might be the most anti-Bitcoin channel there is. And I'd be proud to say that I am. I'm the self-anointed anti-Bitcoin king. All right? Bitcoin's stupid. So I'm going to send this guy an email back. I'm going to reply to the email. And I'm going to say this. I read your entire email out loud to my audience and made fun of it. Bitcoin is a grift. Did you do your homework before sending me this proposal? You know, I think Bitcoin sucks ass, and it is stupid beyond belief. I'm trying to think of what else I want to say. So basically what I wrote so far, I didn't write this. I just kind of spoke it into my phone. I read your entire email out loud to my audience and made fun of it. Bitcoin is a grift. Did you do your homework before sending me this proposal? You know, I think Bitcoin sucks ass and it is stupid beyond belief. Anybody who promotes Bitcoin is probably a human trafficker or some other scumbag I don't even want to mention. Either way, all crypto is a scam. Even the word cryptocurrency should be considered a scam, but people fall for this crap all the time. I will go out of my way to make fun of your bullshit. If you want, feel free to reply to this email. Maybe come on the show and debate me. But I will never promote your dumbass product. The best thing I can do, actually, is make fun of it and tell people how freaking dumb it is. Have fun stealing people's money, you sick SOB. There we go. That was a very polite email. Don't ever send me scam bullshit or I will reply with a not so nice... I did not... That was not... I'm going to read the whole thing. Let's see if I was... I saw red. I saw the color red when I was saying all those things. So I'm going to reread what I wrote. I read your entire email out loud to my audience and made fun of it. Bitcoin is a grift. Did you do your homework before sending me this proposal? You know I think Bitcoin sucks ass and it is stupid beyond belief. Anybody who promotes Bitcoin is probably a human trafficker or some other scumbag I don't even want to mention. Either way, all crypto is a scam. Even the word cryptocurrency should be considered a scam for people to fall for this crap all the time. I will go out of my way to make fun of your BS. If you want, feel free to reply to this email. Maybe come on the show and debate me, but I will never promote your dumbass product. The best thing I can do is actually is make fun of it and tell people how freaking dumb it is. Have fun stealing people's money, you sick SOB. I think that was a reasonable... What do you guys think? Do you guys think... I mean, if anybody's even watching right now, do you think that was a reasonable response to this spam-ass email? If this idiot even gets back to me, maybe he will. I hope he does. I want to see his response. I hope he's like just angry. He's like, I'm an angry Bitcoin bro. How dare you? How dare you? You know, like, and they might get angry. They might get upset. I angered the Bitcoin bros. Yeah, make sure you guys like the video though and subscribe to the channel, please. We need more simps. We need more pimps. I try to be a pimp, but I'm really just a simp. I'm a simp for you guys. I try to make my membership prices very low for this channel. Really, anytime you sign up for the membership, you're really just kind of keeping the lights on. I'm trying to have like the lowest possible one. But yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to send in some messages to my gal. But overall, oh, gotta pop my back. Yeah, but overall, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. So like the video and subscribe to the channel. So Tempted Adverse is asking, are the cookies behind you half chewy or half original? Interesting question. So these are not chewy Chips Ahoy, by the way. These are just they're the original type. They're not even really that chewy. They're pretty hard. I was really hoping there would be a combination of like the chewy sort of, like chewy Chips Ahoy, for example. But chewy Chips Ahoy are my favorite, but these, I mean, they're good. These are, don't get me wrong, regular Chips Ahoy is good, especially with Reese's Pieces in them. So this is a good combination. I'd recommend anybody. In fact, I might even put it in the description below. I need to start putting my favorite food products and stuff. I need to start listing that shit in my YouTube descriptions. It's pretty good shit, though. Yeah, the website's been looking great, though. I've been really trying my best to do the whole Amazon Associates thing. Tempted Adverse says, "Oh, that is orange Reese's Pieces. I thought it was the red chewy pack. I love milk and cookies. Yeah, milk and cookies, man, always a solid combo. You know, it's funny. I don't drink a lot. I don't drink milk. Like cheese is like the closest thing I guess. I guess I get my calcium from cheese. But like outside of it, though, man, I get my calcium from like spinach and shit. Um, Tempted Adverse says, even though I haven't had them in a long time because I'm on a strict diet. Oh, absolutely. Hey, sometimes, even if you're on a strict diet, man, you're on a strict diet. That happens. That happens, brother. Huh. That's interesting. Got the side of my computer. What is the website you were talking about? Is the question Tempted Avarice just asked. Real, by the way, real Garza.com. Boom. That right there is the website. Make sure you guys check it out. There's a lot of cool articles, a lot of cool products as well. So if you guys end up finding a product that you like on there, or maybe I might, I'll take this back. I take that back. If you come across a product on realgarza.com, they're all Amazon products, by the way. But if you come across a product you particularly like, try to click my link and I get a small commission, which is really cool. I'm an Amazon associate basically, and yeah, definitely check it out. And honestly, it's only if buy products if they're products that you want to buy. I don't want to encourage anybody to buy anything they don't want to buy. That's terrible. But if there's if there's an Amazon link that you see on there that seems fascinating to you, don't hesitate to purchase. And I know a lot of people purchase from Amazon for the most part, so it's really fun doing the Amazon Associates program. It's basically affiliate marketing. It's really what it boils down to, but I really enjoy it. But yeah, Tempted Avarice, definitely check it out, man. We got a lot of interesting articles on like how to invest on there. Not all of them are how to invest articles though. I like to do product reviews. There are ones like Scrub Daddy is my sugar daddy is one of them. There's a few other random ones that I've come up with. But yeah, my favorite one is the Scrub Daddy one because Scrub Daddy really changes the game. For me, it lasts a lot longer than a traditional sponge. So I'm always more tempted to use the Scrub Daddy than any other sponge out there. It's definitely one of my favorite. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's definitely one of my favorite sponges overall. And it's better than a traditional sponge, in my opinion. So, not that my opinion's worth much. Oh wow, Walmart is now down. I'm looking for a couple good buys. I do. I love owning Walmart stock. Well, let's take a look here. Yeah, so it's great. Whenever Bitcoin crashes, I make a lot of money because I get to bet against it. As we all know, I'm frequently betting against Ponzi schemes, and that's how I make a lot of money. We're gonna be quite honest. It's how I make the majority of it. It's fun. I get a thrill out of it, and I'm not shy about it. Oh. So my girlfriend's watching me text her. She said she saw one of the ads. She was tuning in live and got to see an ad, which was kind of cool. Yeah, it's exciting, man. I get people get to watch ads in the shorts feed. Um, it's wild. But yeah, really exciting. Oh, Tempted Adverse says, yeah, I just got an ad as well. Hell yeah, dude. Everybody's getting ads. Hell yeah. Well, immediately when I started going live, I was like, well, I want to turn monetization on right away, so that way anybody who does tune in get a little ad revenue. But that's kind of the perks, man. A lot of incentive for me to keep doing content, and obviously I want to do high quality to the best of my ability. I prefer live because live videos require no editing, and I get to interact with the audience. I think doing plain videos just doesn't really thrill me at all. I really enjoy interacting with you guys, and I get paid to do what I love. I think getting paid to do, there have been some interesting philosophies that I've heard. Get paid to do what you love, or what's the old saying? Pursue your passion or whatever. Um, the old saying goes, if you get paid for what you love, you no longer love what you're doing. I don't know about that. I mean, money's fucking great. And if I can use money to get assets, I really enjoy this if I can get paid a lot of money. I mean, I already really enjoy it to begin with, but getting money on top of doing this is icing on the damn cake. So it's a winning situation for Sizzle. You guys hear that? That's so cool. That's my little hair clippers. So it's pretty dope. But yeah, real exciting. I still can't believe we're monetized on this channel. Channels come. I've worked my ass off on this. Though I've worked my butt off on the website. Sure, I've been using AI obviously, but I've been really kind of hitting my notebook, trying to come up with ways to make everything better. I don't think a lot of people don't see the work I put into it behind the scenes. I'm more focused on what I want to talk about. You know what I mean? Even though I'm kind of scattered sometimes, don't get me wrong, I'm scattered. But I do try to keep a general idea of what I want to talk about during these shows. In this show, I'm happy to talk about the Venmo 3% cashback credit card. And yeah, I don't have any referral links for that one because they don't have one, but it's just something that I want to share with you guys because it's given me such a huge advantage with all my purchases. And you guys know me, I don't like to spend a lot of money. Anytime I could, avoid spending any money, that's kind of the way I go. It's the way I roll. So I was hoping that there'd be some butt plug sponsors out there that'd be like, "Hey, Michael Garza, we want to give you money for tushy plugs." And to that I say, hell yeah. By the way, still very stoked that I received a Constitution of the United States. This is pretty sick. This is so cool. Well, I do actually want to do a full read through of the Constitution. Uh, on the on this channel. It's a hell of a document, man. That's so cool, man. I can't believe people are getting ads on this channel already. One of the reasons I want to try to do more horizontal live videos is because they get archived a little bit better. I noticed that the vertical live videos don't get archived nearly as well. While it does allow me to expand my audience and allows me to reach a more diverse audience, doing the horizontal lives can help a lot. I think another thing I'm going to try to do more often is just, take these horizontal lives that I do and turn them into short videos using Opus Clip. What's really great is now that I'm monetized, my monetization can pay for the yearly subscription for Opus Clip without me having to fork out any money on my own. So you guys really are keeping the lights on just by watching. So now what I really want, I think this channel is pro pegging. Even though I'm afraid of pegging, I think that's my conscious mind keeping me away from the art of pegging. The problem is I'm not a bussy boy, right? I don't want to use my butt as a pussy. I don't want my woman using my butt as a pussy, all right? So I got a problem here. We don't need to talk about this too much on the show. But I do believe that, look, if I desire to be pegged with a strap on, it doesn't make me gay. It doesn't make me gay. If a girl is pounding you in the butt, plastic strap-ons, it's not gay. And if I get pleasure from it, uh, I can't even say half of this shit with a straight face. I appreciate everybody watching, though. I think we've already been recording. I've already been streaming for about an hour. Nice. Got quite a few people watching already. Nice. This is why I love doing live videos, though, man. You never know how many people are gonna tune in, and I still do want to do the vertical live streams. Vertical live streams really do bring in a whole new audience, and I don't want to miss out on that opportunity either. So we'll see. We'll see how we're gonna do this. When I go out and do videos, I'm going to try maybe to do more vertical videos because I think, like I said, more people are on their phone these days, so it's easier to get them to watch on the short feed your live videos. And just got to spark a new audience, man. And that's why I do the horizontal format and the vertical format because I gotta reach new audiences. But Reese's Pieces, man. Boom. Hey, you know what? If Strongman Personal Finance is monetized, well, my boy can get monetized, so can I. All right. Well, what have we learned today? Any comments? Any questions? Anything at all? Oh, it is pretty cool that you guys are getting ads. I think it's honestly pretty sick. I dig it. But the show must go on in a juicy man thong. But yeah, I mean, those are ways that you don't have to. Basically, these are ways that you don't have to pay extra for anything. You know, instead of being used by the credit card companies, you can use the credit card companies. You just have to shift your way of thinking about this. It's very simple. And the reason I say it's very simple is because I want you guys to realize how simple it is. It's as simple as choosing a credit card for each categorical purchase. So if you're getting groceries, use the Venmo credit card or some other credit. I don't know. There may be a credit card out there that has better cashback rewards. But the point is, if you have to purchase something, get rewarded for it. Get a little cash back. There's no shame in that. That's what these are for. These are not for you to hold debt at all. I know that's what technically credit cards were made for people to hold debt, but credit card rates of 25% are obscene, disgusting. That's why I don't hold a balance. I could pay off all my cards every month, but I don't risk it. I pay off all my cards every 2 weeks. I make sure that I have a zero balance on each credit card, except for the 0% interest rate ones. My Amazon credit card is the only exception to this rule. It has a 0% interest rate on purchases over a certain amount. I do like to take advantage of that wholeheartedly. A lot of the time, I take a lot of the extra money and I have been putting it into a high yield savings account. Um, Mainly because I want to have more cash reserve. I feel like I haven't had as much of a cash reserve as I'd like, just to make sure it's because it's good. It's healthy to have cash flow, or at least some form of a cash reserve that you can utilize. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Let's check out realgarza.com. But yeah, no, if you guys check out Real Garza, once again, it's realgarza.com. Garza. .com. Like I said, the reason I try to encourage people to check out that website is, I mean, honestly, we got a lot of cool articles. A lot of the stuff I talk about on this channel, a lot of the stuff when it comes to ETFs, investing in general, is on this website. There's a lot of great articles about, why you should avoid Bitcoin, for example. Not financial advice, but why Bitcoin's a shitty investment and it's a Ponzi scheme. And there are ways for you to capitalize on a Ponzi scheme by betting against it. Well, and honestly, it's not every day you get to bet against a known Ponzi scheme that has been, to be honest, made legal for some weird reason. I want to look up ETFs on the website. But now there's a search functionality on the website now. So anybody who wants to search for anything, all they got to do is hit the search bar at the upper right-hand corner. Or when you're on mobile, you could still open up the little menu, but just type in ETFs. And then boom. We got, why owning multiple ETFs beats the Vanguard Total World Index, blah, blah, blah. Why one ETF to rule them all falls short. Yep, VT is for simplicity, broad exposure, low fees, but here's the truth. VT gives you zero flexibility. Yeah, you are locked into a lot of stuff. I like the variable weighting factors that you get when you have multiple ETFs. I love covered call ETFs. I love bond ETFs. I love indexed stock ETFs. I even love actively managed ETFs, even though I'm not the biggest fan of those. I'll have them in my portfolio just for the sake of it. But most of my ETFs are index based. So for example, all the bond ETFs that I have are index based. Not actively managed. That's the majority of them, at least. Yeah, this is probably one of the better ones on the site. Is this article right here, why owning multiple ETFs beats the Vanguard Total World Index. This is my favorite one because I think that when you're exposed across asset classes, Vanguard Total World Index is a very nice ETF to have. It gives you exposure not only to the US but international companies. Very nice, very cool. But at the same time, honestly, I just prefer the latter. I prefer ETFs that are designed for specific sectors, specific areas of the world. Each ETF that I own, pays a dividend each quarter, usually, sometimes monthly, but mostly every quarter. But they'll pay on different dates during the quarter. Now, some of them will pay on the same date. That happens. But the majority of them, there's a lot of ones that pay on different dates in the quarter. So, I mean, having one ETF means you're going to have to wait for your dividend every 3 months. If I have just the Vanguard Total World Index in my brokerage account, I got to wait 3 months before I can get that dividend. Whereas, instead, I could have maybe multiple international ETFs, stock ETFs that are index-based. I could have multiple US-based ones, sector ones, you name it. As long as I'm broadly diversified and spread out, I own one share of every single ETF that I want to own. One share. Seriously, I'm that spread out. And the whole goal is diversification, but also consistent payments through dividends. Any margin I borrow is quickly paid off using the dividends that I receive from the different ETFs that I have. And like I said, a lot of the ETFs I have pay quarterly, but I do have monthly dividend ones. Like I have some bond ones that pay monthly. I love those ones. If we're gonna be honest, I love monthly dividends. But yeah, no, there's a lot of different ETFs out there that people can buy just one share of at a fairly low cost for most of them per share, and it gives you that level of diversification, but it also gives you that exposure to different assets. And those funds are powered. Those ETFs, those exchange traded funds, are powered by the assets that they hold. So it's really crucial, and people should take it seriously in a lot of ways. Let's see here. Yeah, realgarza.com. Check out the website though, realgarza.com. It's a solid site. Got lots of cool shit on here. But yeah, I think owning multiple ETFs is way better than owning just the VT. So even this image shows it off, because I want to make sure the image showed it off as well. Broader exposure across asset classes, greater control over asset allocation, ability to overweight specific sectors if you want to. I don't really like to overweight anything. I just like to have, variable weightings. Mixed growth, dividend, and bond ETFs. And that's one of the reasons I'm really, as much as I love having a bunch of stocks in my portfolio, I love having exposure to bonds. I love exposure to anything that matters. So I love real estate investment trusts as well. I think they're a great way to get exposure to leased out real estate without having to really do any of the heavy lifting. It's really the lazy man's, it's the introvert's real estate way. I'm fairly, even though I do a show and I talk a lot, I'm fairly introverted, and I'm kind of an oddball. I feel very comfortable talking in front of a camera. It's one of those, I consider it kind of a talent and a skill. Do I talk about a lot of random bullshit sometimes? Absolutely, without a doubt. But it's fun, and I'm going to continue to do it. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with all this YouTube grifter money that I'm going to make. Now that I'm officially a YouTube grifter, like CoffeeZilla, like Meet Kevin, Graham Stevens, Andre Deek, Jeremy LeBabe, from Financial Education, all these guys, I'm now basically a grifter, and I don't know what to do with myself. One moment. One moment. Now, whenever I get more money, I start buckling down even further. I try to kind of keep a lot of the money in like lately more of a high yield savings account. Like I said, I'm not a fan of high yield savings account, but if I need to have a cash reserve that I can use or at least transfer to my checking account at any time without any worries, I want to have a reputable one. So I did choose the MX high yield one. It's a 3.6% annual yield, but I also have the Betterment Cash Reserve one, but they partner with 8 banks, and I'm not even too sure who those banks are. So I don't know. I feel more comfortable just going with one bank, even if they have a slightly lower yield on it. I'll still probably put a little bit of dough in the Betterment Cash Reserve one, I believe. I'm thinking I might. The cool thing about the Amex one is, I mean, with all these high yield savings accounts, I get a monthly payout, which is kind of cool. So there's a compounding effect that happens when you get these amounts. So for example, let's say I've got like, I don't know, $300 in there, maybe 1,000 or something, and I get a certain amount in there. I get a certain amount paid out in interest, for example. That amount that's paid out in interest, that starts collecting interest as well. So it does have a bit of a compounding effect for sure. There's a bit of a doubling process that happens, but it's I will say that the compound effects are more noticeable, at least when the dollar amounts get higher. At least without a doubt, in my book. But I prefer to invest in actual stocks, in actual ETFs. The reason that I have a high yield savings account that is competitive um is very simple. I don't want to miss out on a yield of some kind. So if interest rates grow higher, the like let's say they raise interest rates like a whole bunch of points, right? Well, honestly, I could go back from a 3.6%. I can then get a higher interest rate payout in that high yield savings account. So there are some advantages to high yield savings accounts. I still don't believe in saving cash. I am more asset first. Assets are the primary way, at least in my mind. Um, that's my thought process behind it. Probably do a little more live streams later, but I'm just having fun. Today is the day that I got monetized and taking full advantage of it. Really having a good time. I got to clean off my desk a little bit. I just realized I've got so much crap on my desk. It needs to look a little better. But outside of that, though, it's looking sexy. It's very sexy. Oh man, it's nice to be able to have a bigger desk for this system, man. This is actually, one thing I love about the HP Envy is it's very easy to open up the system. Like there's a little button. I wouldn't mind having the ability to lock the system. Like, it doesn't seem to have any good locking mechanisms, really, from what I could tell. But yeah, HP Envy is a great system, though, man. As far as desktop computers go, this is my favorite desktop computer, hands down, 100%. Like I don't know how anybody else could. I don't know how anybody could go with anything else. Let's see. I will admit the one thing that's nice about being monetized is I know that I can make more content, and I know that it can suck if it needs to. Having a subscriber base, I still want to make good content for all the subscribers, though. Even all the basic ones. Um, it's important to me, man. I really Really enjoy making this. I love tutoring everybody. I want to be your guys' sexy MILF tutor. I am a hot MILF, is what they call me. I believe I am. Hopefully. Sorry, guys. I'm still thinking about what else I want to talk about right now. I can't really think of anything, but yeah, definitely consider next time you use like a credit card. Now, if you find a debit card that gives you a really good cash back, maybe take advantage of that. That's fine. If you see like those 5%, 4% ones, obviously make sure it's not too good to be true. Me personally, I prefer using credit cards just because I don't see credit cards as free money. And I think if you had the same philosophy and you just started to say this is not free money. If you tell yourself this is not free money, you start seeing credit cards completely different in a completely different way. So that's the best old man advice I can give to people, and which isn't financial advice, by the way, in any way, oddly enough. I should say wisdom. So it's not financial advice, this is just old man wisdom here. Look for ways to get cash back on things that you have to purchase. Make sure that you're just using credit cards for things that you gotta purchase, right? There are things I gotta purchase for my business, right? There are things I gotta purchase for my computer is a great example. I use my Amazon credit card, 0% interest, was able to make 12 monthly payments, 0% interest, just to have this computer, and it was well worth it because I got it for a steal of a deal anyway. I got this phone on Black Friday, got it for $500. Usually it's priced at like 900. Um, and I even financed that. I'm still financed, and it's 0% interest though. So it depends on interest rates as well. This is one thing I forgot to mention during the show. I was so focused on cashback rewards, I didn't focus on not the interest rate. Sorry, I didn't focus on the 0% interest rate or highly low interest rate. So if it's a very very low interest rate on a high ticket item, that's an exception, especially if it's an item that you need. This computer, I need this computer. Will the computer itself increase in value over time? I doubt it. It'll become obsolete at some point, but it's a good computer. It gets the job done. It does what I needed to do. And the return on investment for this is huge because I utilize it as an asset for myself. I utilize it for the business of doing YouTube. I utilize it for the business of doing the real Garza, realgarza.com website, that sort of thing. And what you're purchasing, you have to ask yourself, what I'm purchasing, does it have utility? And if what you're purchasing has utility, man, you're on the right path, brother. You're on the right path. But yeah, so I know that I'm not getting a lot of people in the chats at the moment because we're doing the horizontal one. I know I get most of the audience from the vertical lives, but if there's anybody who wants to say anything in the chat, feel free to say what you need to say. Just say what you gotta say, G Dog. I think also the reason I'm not getting a lot of views right now is because I think oh, this is cool. So one of the dudes that I had talked to, he gave me his contact information. And one of the anti-Trump. He's actually really cool. I think he may be more on the side of like I think he's on more the anti-Trump side, but he's very thoughtful. His responses are fantastic, and he has some really interesting insights. And so he said because he was talking about the dude who the shooter guy. That shooter guy that killed those lawmakers, man, that's messed up, dude. I can't believe that happened. I mean, there are some sickos out there, man. Some real sickos. But let's see. He said, yes, I wonder who or what information and his sources fed his brain. He thought it was a good idea. That's what we really need to know. Like school shootings sometimes different thought into their brain. Will I Hmm. This guy's an interesting fella. Trying to understand the message though. So it's a part of the I'm letting him know. I'm like letting him know. I think I'm saying that your instincts seem correct. Because they do. I mean, he's making some interesting points in this text message. Um, seem correct to me. Um, it's not always clear what causes someone to mentally snap. And this is interesting. So, like, I'm trying to send this guy a message. So I'm thinking, like, his instincts seem correct. But to me, it's not always clear what causes someone to mentally snap and do something like that. I think I honestly think I think a lot of this is a prescription drug issue in America. If you notice that a lot of these people who do these heinous crimes, they seem to be on multiple what do you call it, antipsychotic medication, right? I'm not saying there's anything bad with antipsychotic medication if it helps keep you at a calmer keel, then go for it, especially if you really need it to be able to function in society. I have a very Tom Cruise way of looking at things. There was an interview where Tom Cruise was I can't remember who he was speaking with. It might have been one of the CBS guys back in the day. Not Roker. God, I can't remember who it was. But anyway, Tom Cruise was talking to somebody as an interview, and he said that, a lot of medication that we live in a society where we medicate a little too often and we don't try to, give people the proper nutrition that they need. And a lot of it, I think a lot of mental instability is nutritional issues. I think, for example, if you, get enough magnesium or vitamin B or even vitamin D, for God's sakes, especially if you live in a very cloudy area, vitamin D supplements can help a lot. I was going to say vitamin D was a huge mood booster for me, and I still take it even though I go out in the sun all the time. Prescribing, prescribing. Um, so many antipsychotic mixtures of antipsychotic drugs to people. I noticed that people who do those acts tend to be on at least two or more antipsychotic drugs. Now, like I said, I'm not against antipsychotic drugs. I think they help, especially if you have sleep issues. Um, sometimes nutrition can only take you so far. I understand that some people are just not mentally well, and and they deserve to be in society just as much as I do. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not exactly the sanest man ever. I'm lucky. The worst thing I got is like Asperger's syndrome, and you don't really need to treat that if you don't need to, as long as you're still functional. And my whole goal is just to be functional. So exercise is a good thing, and just eat your greens, man. Spinach is chock full of things that help keep you good. An anti-inflammatory diet's really nice too. In fact, if anything, anti-inflammation diets tend to be really good. Sorry, you guys. I just realized I'm so thoughtfully responding to this dude. He's a cool dude. Like I was telling him right here. His name's I call him Michael with the cool car. He's also named Michael. But what I was telling him, check this out. I put your instincts seem correct to me. It's not always clear because, and I honestly do believe this. That I think it's like people on two or more antipsychotic drugs tend to, at least from what I've seen. But yeah, this is kind of cool. So I'm trying to finish the rest of this. I got so caught up. Um, but yeah, more connections are formed online than in real life, but those connections don't create the true feeling of connection. Feelings of connection. One would get actual conversation with someone or being next to them. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. This guy's man. I enjoy hearing his philosophy on stuff, but um, I think his instincts are right on, spot on. I really do. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy shit, man. I will admit, though, overall, with this show, because the direction, I mean, the main direction for this show, the main subject matter that we tackle is, I wouldn't even say common sense investing, because I don't know if there's any common sense anymore in the world in anything. Oh, then again, it's not really common sense, is it? Because it would be common. So I guess we could say rare sense, you know. So I try to have rare sense investing. Um, and that would actually, you know, I'm gonna type that down. Rare sense investing. That's an interesting investing. That will be the title of one of the next articles, and I think that should actually let me note that down too, because they say your common guide to common sense investing. But to be honest, if we're gonna be brutally honest, I don't know. I don't think there's anything as brutal honesty, but rare sense investing. All right. Well, I don't know if I got anything I want to say at the moment, but we'll see how many people have watched this. It's kind of cool. We could keep an eye. I mean, 11 people watch. It's not bad. Got some watch hours on this. I'll take it. But yeah, no, doing these live videos is very fantastic, and trying to get more people to watch. And it's half the battle. It is half the battle, but it's the best part of the battle. You guys, I still can't believe we did it. We did it. We're here. Sorry, you guys. I really got caught up in that text message last second. So thank you, guys. I was really trying to get my point across this dude because he's got a keen mind, and I love it, man. He's a cool dude. The man lives in Reedsport. He's got a pretty dope car. I got to admit, I saw a picture of the dude's car. That thing's pretty pimp. And honestly, he has a YouTube channel, by the way. Hold on. I think I subscribed to him. Hold on. He sends me some of his videos. In fact, let's give him a shout out because he's really, like I said, really cool dude. Very thoughtful dude. Here it is. George Jetson. This is well, hold on. I think this is his YouTube channel. Because he said his name's Michael, but he may go by George. I don't know. Let's see. Sports cars. So let's see. Sports cars, design, horror, humor, sci-fi. Just got a very cool Spoon sports race car. Signed by Spoon, Honda race team owner. Yeah, this is cool. So he's got a lot of cool little short videos. And let's see. Oh yeah, let me subscribe to this guy. Yeah, so make sure you guys, because I want to get this guy, I want to get this guy at least 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys want, man, subscribe to my boy George Jetson. Really cool. Oh, you know what I realized? Jetson. Okay, this makes perfect sense. From the Jetsons, the TV show, The Jetsons. Wasn't the dad's name George? I don't remember, actually. Either way, this guy's really cool, really neat dude. He sends me some text messages every now and then. I like giving a thoughtful reply just because I love it, man. Well, yeah, man, I really, this guy's a cool dude. So, definitely want to give him a shout out for sure. And yeah, stoked that we're finally monetized, everybody. The world didn't want it, but the world got it. I will say, for the most part, when I went to that anti-Trump rally, the best people were the people who actually just talked to me like I was a normal person, That was fun. Like, they actually went up to me, even though I was doing my performance art and stuff, and rapping about how much I love Joe Biden and shit. And obviously I don't, but I'm trolling there. But having a good time. But Michael, he was very kind enough to come up and talk to me. There was Devin, she was pretty cool. Lots of people were pretty cool. There were a lot of cool people there. Like, I think 90% of the people were very kind, but there was 10% that were just like, just vile. Like, I was just like, 10% of the people there were just vile. Some of those kids dressed in the punk rock gear, the punks, were the nastiest to me, all because I wore a hat. And if anything, the hat, in my opinion, basically talks about What my hat says is this, and you can say it's fascist, I don't really care. The hat basically said, I don't like the establishment. I wanted Trump in there so he could reduce the federal government. And yes, he doing some strange things. Yeah, absolutely. But we'll see how it all plays out, and we'll go from there. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the world could have handled another 4 more years of Democratic rule. I really don't. And you know, it's funny. I will say this about the Democrats, man. They have been lied to a lot. And one of the reasons, you know, when I was younger, I used to vote Democrat for sure. But I got a little older, got a little wiser. Now, I'm not going to say that you're dumb for voting Democrat. I'm not even going to imply that. I think smart people, sometimes, you know, it's funny. Very, very intelligent people sometimes get behind dumb ideas. It just happens. It's called being human. Humans are not 100% smart 100% of the time. But yeah, I think very smart people. It's funny how very smart people tend to vote Democrat, like intelligent people. Now, there are intelligent people, obviously, who vote like for Trump because they were tired of the lunacy and the idiocy of the Democrat Party. Absolutely. But yeah, that's why I just can't vote Democrat. They lost me as a voter a long time ago, man. Long time ago. I'd rather, like I said, I'd rather vote for Trump or Vance than Democrat. So, and in my opinion, is surprisingly catching on, which is shocking. Okay, so I do want to thank you guys for viewing. I'm a little tired, admittedly. So I'm going to chill out for the rest of the night. Well, I might do another live video. I do got to fold some clothes. I think once I get my clothes folded, I'll maybe do a show in bed. I don't know. It's still pretty early. Might go play some basketball. We'll see. Ooh, that would be interesting. I just thought of this. I could do a Michael Garza basketball camp. I don't know how good of an idea that is, actually, but it would be fun. Because it's so windy and gusty, I may have to put my tripod on like weighted bags or something like that, or weighted bags on the tripod. I'll have to figure that part of it out, but yeah, maybe I'll do a basketball camp. The Michael Garza basketball camp would be kind of funny. Is it a good idea? Probably not. But what do you guys think? Should I do a Michael Garza basketball camp? Or should I do a Michael Saylor? Michael Saylor. All right, folks. I do want to thank you for taking the time to view this live stream, but take a moment, do your thing, feel your thing. Rare sense investing, though. I think it's going to be an interesting concept.